If you don't pray, if you don't live a life of prayer, you are not spiritual. Prayer is the second thing that Jesus said men must do always. Number one, he said we should eat every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Matthew 4 verse 4. Then Luke 18:1, men ought always to pray and not to faint. That means if you don't pray, you will faint. You must have heard many times that the opposite of prayer is not prayerlessness, is to faint. So when a man stops praying, he faints. He ceases to be a spiritual man. What makes you spiritual is your continual and continuous communion with God. Psalm 90 verse 1. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Prayer. If they still beg you to pray, if you still need prayer meeting to pray, know that you are not spiritual. You are growing. Thank God, we encourage you, keep growing. But just know where you are. He said, Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. So these ones don't just pray prayer, they live in it. Because God is their abode. So they keep a constant communion with God. Thou art our dwelling place from ages past. We are a people of communion. We are a people of intimacy with God. Our greatest strength and capacity is our weight on the altar. It's our prayer that makes us who we are. If we don't pray, we can't hear God. If we don't pray, we have no direction. If we don't pray, we are not empowered to confront with the attacks of this life. If we don't pray, we cannot manifest the glory of God. Everything about us was imputed by the word, but the manifestation is at the mercy of prayer. If we don't pray, none of the things God has done on our inside can find expression. So when you find anything on our inside, the word installed it. But when you find us manifest anything, know that that's the response of our altar. So our prayer is responsible for who we are. This is what makes men of God. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, pray without ceasing. So it's beyond prayer meeting. It's beyond 10 hours prayer. It's beyond 24 hours prayer. It's a life of constant communion. Every second, let your heart be plugged to God and let God's heart be plugged to you. He said, if you claim that you are dead with Christ and you are risen with him, he said, let your affections be on the things that are above where Christ dwells. So when you find men of prayer, yes, they pray in prayer meetings. Yes, they pray for hours, 5 hours, 7 hours. Those are the exercises of the spirit. But when you find a spiritual man, he's always in communion. He can be driving, he's fused to God. He's betting, he's fused to God. He's lying down, talking to you, he has snapped. The next minute, you see him communing. Traffic is high. Traffic. He's writing what God told him. He's just spontaneous with the Holy Ghost. But you can't get there until you have mastered how to stay plugged with God. In Colossians chapter 4 verse 12, it said, devote yourself to prayer. Being watchful and thankful. Devote yourself to prayer. Devote yourself. It's a call for every man of God. Every man of God is a man of prayer. Every spiritual man. The apostle said it's not meet for us to give ourselves to tables. Acts 6 verse 4, he said we'll give ourselves to prayer. See, most of us hate prayer. Everyone began by hating prayer. It's not easy to talk to a spirit. He said you must be helped to talk to a spirit. So your praying is taking advantage of that help. He said, quicken us, O Lord. Psalm 80 verse 18, so we shall call upon thy name. We must be quickened. But when we are quickened, we must not relax. The problem with men is that the Holy Ghost quickened you, but you relax. So you fell into struggle again. Keep that tempo up. Keep it up so that the flames of your spirit will continually burn.